Yay. All right. First, we're going to go over chapter 2 today. I appreciate you guys letting me record. Um, First thing we're going to do is good things, though. I won't play any of the things you guys say, so don't worry about it. But I'll share my good thing to begin with. I get to be here with you guys. That's cool. I like doing my student teaching here. You know, I know a lot of you guys. So I appreciate you letting me do that. Thank you for sharing your stuff. Good things is always good. So we're going to start with chapter 2.
Well, you guys know that I handed out the handouts to you so that you could see them at home, review them while we're going over this stuff. This is also available on Google Classroom, so don't think you have to get it all in one grab, all right? Or our objectives, just so you know. I want you to know the shapes, I want you to know the colors, I want you to know the different actions that you have to do. We'll talk about different situations and stuff like that, and you got to be able to understand and explain these, okay? Because there are U.S. and if you go to say Canada or Mexico or other countries, you'll need to know those.
Those are our objectives for today.
Signs too. These are what we're going to cover real quick.
So
I'll show you the
we're
signs.
going to watch a video
That way
now.
you can look at them and everything. These are the shapes of the signs. Okay, they're clearly written on here. Like I said, you can go back, read over your paper. Please do. Go to Google Classroom when you're at home and do that as well. The first one, of course, is an octagon. It's a stop sign, one of the most important ones. You need to realize it. The triangle, it's a yield sign. The vertical rectangle is a regulatory sign, okay? Tells you what to do. The school, okay? The school sign is a pentagon. To me, it looks like a house, so remember it how you will, but when you see it, know you're in a school zone. You need to know that. That means more people, right? All that kind of stuff. But we're just talking about the shapes right now. The railroad crossing signs are very important. They're round. They're warning you about railroad coming up, or that the railroad crossing's right there. The no passing zone is something you got to get familiar with so you know whether you can pass or not. And that's a pennant shape. A railroad sign's a round. You do need to know that for your testing and everything as well. Your diamond shapes are all the warning signs. They're primarily yellow and black. There are some orange and black ones. Those are the construction ones. And then you have your horizontal rectangular ones, and they are guide signs, okay? All those shapes will help you identify signs when they're coming up, what you're looking for, so make sure you understand them and know them. These are the colors, okay? We're going to go over them real quick. Your red, right, it means to stop or yield, right, or prohibited. So this first one is a do not enter. If you see that, you better stop and figure out why you're not supposed to enter it. Otherwise, you might be going the wrong way, maybe entering a situation where you're not supposed to enter from that direction, something, right? Yellow means warning. White means regulatory, okay? It's guiding you, letting you know something. Orange is construction or detour. Black is a regulatory. Green is a guide. Your blue is usually a service of some kind. And then your browns are national parks, recreational things. They might tell you, like this is telling you where you're going to the Rocky Mountain National Park. Sometimes they'll tell you where a jogging trail is, that kind of stuff, but they're typically brown. When you're looking at the stop sign, the first thing you must understand, the stop sign's octagon, it's red, it's a stop. You must know what a stop sign is. Can't say that enough. You need to be aware that you stop behind the crosswalk, right, or the line on the ground, or behind the stop sign. You must know where to stop, okay? You always yield for pedestrians at a stop sign. You always yield for pedestrians no matter what the sign is. If there's no sign of pedestrians in your way, you stop. Just remember that. The four-way stop situation, if you come to a four-way stop, you must make sure that whoever stops first, comes to complete stop, does their stop behind the stop sign, they get to go first at a four-way stop. So the first one there kind of situation. If two people come at once and one is to one side, one's to the other, in that case, the person, you yield to the person on the left, or the person on the right gets to go, however you want to look at it. And if you're straight on from each other, like one straight across the road, you come to a stop and you both got there at the same time, you would let the person that's going straight go first. So if they got their blinker on, you should be able to go first. But always take caution. Assume that the person driving across from you may not always know or may not want to do the right thing, so make sure you pay enough attention to catch that. Stop signs are very important. Your traffic yield signs, just as important. They play into different roles. That's why all this information's here, so you can read it on your paper, or you can go home and read it and study it for the testing purposes and stuff. For us, the yield sign, when you pull up to it, same thing, you need to stop behind the sign, yield. Look both ways to give yourself plenty of time to go. But the yield sign is there so that you know you don't have to come to a complete stop. It's probably because that particular intersection is not always well traveled, but there's been accidents and stuff there. Otherwise they wouldn't have got to the point of having a yield sign. But you are giving way to the more major road. They have the right of way, so this is warning you of that. If you go out there and cause an accident, it's 100% your fault. So make sure you yield behind the sign, you roll up, you look both ways and make sure there's nothing in your way, and of course you still have to yield for pedestrians, so you have to be careful. But then you go. So you do not have to come to a complete stop unless it's necessary. So you see a car, you see something that's going to happen, you then come to a complete stop and wait for your turn. The speed limit sign is very important. Like I said, you need to read this on your own too, because you got to know this for the testing. The government, state, town, local, they're the ones that create the speeds and all that. There are minimum speed limit signs. I did not post any here. I couldn't find a picture of one, but these are the maximum speeds. Okay, and a minimum speed is usually posted underneath the maximum speed. Interstate is in particular with that. So make sure you understand that. This is the maximum speed. This is the maximum speed you're supposed to go. I know a lot of people are told you can go a little bit over, that kind of stuff. You don't really want to do that because you can be fined. So make sure you stick within the speed limit. If it's 40, go 40. If it's 25, go 25. Your minimum speed limit, you do to make sure you're going fast enough for that. Different situations, if you're, farmers do it all the time where they have a little difficulty going to the maximum speed of the interstate and stuff, and they might have had to get on the interstate for some reason, or an overloaded truck. But the reason you follow the minimum speed limit is so that you're not holding up traffic, things like that. And it could cause an accident, so make sure you follow the speed limit signs. These are warning signs. These are the two different kinds that you will see color-wise. Your construction detour signs and your yellow and black ones. These are more of them. Your yellow black ones, they usually pre-warn you of things. Note why they're called warning. Make sure you see the animal one at the bottom. There are lots of them: duck crossings, deer crossings. I've seen so many I don't know them all, but there's tons of them. You have to, once you see those, you start being aware that an animal might jump out in front of you. You got hill, you got pedestrian crosswalk, you got your road narrows, you got telling you about a stop light coming up. But you have to pay attention and understand what these mean, because if you see it and have no idea, you're not going to know what to do. That's the important part. So make sure you understand these. You go over them at home. Make sure you know each and every one. Don't be afraid to look at other kinds and stuff. These aren't all of them. There are more. Sometimes they slightly vary too, depending on the age of the sign and where you're at and stuff, and weather can make them fade. So make sure you understand them and know it. We're going to watch a video real quick. Make sure you pay attention. This deals with signs and signals and roadway markings. It's going to get all three. I didn't divide up the video. I want you to understand before we start discussing the rest how they apply. So sit back, relax. I do need you to take out a piece of paper. Up on the board is the name of the video, which is signs, signals, and markings. Write that at the top of the blank piece of paper. This is for a grade, and I need you to write 5 things that you learn from the video. All right. These are the traffic signals that we're going to talk about next. These are the lights that are involved. These are the objectives. We're going to make sure we understand what green, yellow lights mean. What to do when we approach a flashing one, whether it's red or yellow. We're going to describe the what we do with pedestrians, signal traffic officers, that kind of stuff, so you understand. That's our goal for this little section. We're going to go over the traffic lights first. Like I said before, make sure you read all that information. That way you can pass the test. And driving is one of the most important things you do in life. It's very, very fun, but it can be dangerous, and other people, you're responsible for them, so make sure you do that. So let's go over the lights. These are pictures of real life lights. I got them straight from the book, so you can go in there and study it. Plus I gave you the guide, and of course this is on Google Classroom as well. Of course, at a red light you must come to a complete stop. You can't do anything but stop. Don't run through it. You can cause a traffic accident in that case. The yellow light means you must stop. Okay? You must stop if you are able to. A lot of people say, oh, you get ready to. You know, you see a lot of people when we're out there, you'll see them speed up at yellow lights. Don't do that. If it flips yellow on you and you're right in the intersection or about ready to enter the intersection and you can't stop, right? You can't make a reasonable stop, then you must go through the intersection. But the yellow light's to help you stop before the red, okay? So make sure you understand that. And we got green, of course. Green means go. It's very important for you to pay attention. If it's green when you're sitting there, don't be playing with the radios and things like that. You need to be paying attention to the road all the time. You can cause traffic slowdown and stuff, and you'll get that experience when we're out driving. Somebody will be doing that, not paying attention, and then we're stuck there waiting on them, stuff like that. It's not a good thing. So when it's green, make sure you go. Also know the position of the lights. The top one is red, the middle one is yellow, and the bottom one is green. Now if you look at the green one, there's 2 extra things down there for turning lanes and stuff. That's pretty normal, okay? But make sure you understand these 3 positions, because colorblind people, that's why they're that way, so that they can understand too. But it is important for you, just in case maybe the sun's in your eyes, there's a bad glare, sometimes you can't always see the color. But you usually can see the position pretty easily, so make sure you understand it. That way you can be the best driver that you can be. And we do have flashing lights. There are different kinds. I only could find a picture of the red one, okay? But these typically flash in the intersection. That means you stop at a red one. The book's calling it amber, but your yellow ones and stuff, those means that you treat it like a yield sign, that you have to be caution. You need to go up there and you need to look for the other traffic. You don't have the right of way in a yellow one, so you need to make sure you understand that. That means you're stopping from any other traffic. But the red lights, when they're flashing, you're going to treat like a stop sign. Sometimes this is one hung out in the middle of the road. Sometimes there's ones above stop signs to make sure you see it at a far distance. Sometimes there'll be yellow ones too that'll warn you above the warning sign that's telling you a stop sign's coming up, and it'll be a flashing yellow one. So make sure you pay attention to those. Flashing means you need to really stay alert. Yellow usually means you're going to yield, and red usually means you're going to come to a complete stop. We're going to go over the arrows now. They do have different meanings and such, and I do want you to read through those, so make sure you do that. I gave you examples of real life ones so that you can understand them and see them, but we'll go over the different ones. A left one means you can go left on the green light, okay? A go right will be an arrow pointing to the right, and it means you can actually go that direction. If it's straight ahead, that means you can only go straight ahead. A lot of people don't always see these, but they're not as common in Wichita, at least. I'm sure they are in Kansas City area, but you'll see them in different places. Straight means you can go straight, only straight. There's not a green arrow to the left or a green arrow to the right. You can't go those directions if there's signals for that, okay? So make sure you catch that. Your yellow light means that it's going to turn red, but also I've seen them now, they flash yellow, and they're yellow arrow flashing, and you do not have the right of way in that case. So make sure you pay attention to the yellow sign or the yellow arrows. In Derby, Kansas in particular, they flash yellow, and you do not have the right of way. It means you can turn, but you have to watch for the oncoming traffic, so be careful of that. And red absolutely means you cannot turn, so don't do that. These are examples over here. Make sure you pay attention, catch where they are, what they mean. You know, some of them do say left turn only on signal. Make sure that you obey that, because it is a big fine otherwise. And you absolutely can never turn on red. This is the objectives we're going to try. We want to know the difference between the solid and the broken lines, the yellow and the whites. We want to know the difference between left turning lanes, right turning lanes, the 6 types of special markings that they list in the book. We'll go over real quick. There are different kinds: paving markers, edge marking, and white lines. And these are some of the examples that I have for you. This picture here is marking all whole different bunch on a one-way area. They're telling you only turn this, only turn this, only go straight, only go straight. So there are markings on the ground. There probably was some signage beforehand as well. But all of this guides you so you don't make mistakes. And if you're not paying attention, you're not going to catch it. And if you don't notice, not only areas, there's a straight line here to tell you where to stop for these lights way back here. So make sure you pay attention to stuff like that when you're driving. Learn this stuff. We'll see it in Wichita. There's several areas that are similar to this. Your school crossing on the ground is another kind of regulatory pavement markings and stuff. It's telling you you're in a school zone, so you know what extra things you need to watch for. You got down here this little yellow on the curb, that's a no parking zone. There's also no parking sign. But anytime you're near a fire hydrant, you know you can't park. But yellow, red, no parking. Sometimes it is marked with different colors, but there's usually signs if it's in another color. These are, here is a handicap one. These are different kind of markings on the pavement so that you know where you can and can't park. If you're not handicapped, you can't park in handicap. You cannot park in this zoned out area either. That's for people to be able to get in and out of that handicap area. There are more roadway markings. In this particular one, we're going to discuss the yellows and the whites and stuff for the lanes. The edge marking is over here. On all of these have edge markers. They're all solid white in these cases. That's so you know where the fall off of the road or the shoulder is, okay? Your first one over here, your yellow center line. This is a yellow center line, so they're not one-way streets. This first one here is dashed yellow, okay? So let's discuss the differences. Yellow means two-way traffic. Traffic will come at you. White lines means that all the traffic in that area are going the same direction, and these two lanes are going the same direction. And then this yellow is telling you they're going opposite directions on both sides of the lane, and this white line, they're going all the same direction on this side. So what you need to know is yellow means oncoming traffic. White means that you're going the same direction. Usually. There are exceptions to these, so be careful. Usually those exceptions are in parking lots and things that are not as official. And then you need to know dashed and solid lines. In this first picture it's dashed because you can pass. You need to pass with care, of course. This double solid line means neither side can cross this line. Okay, not for passing and things like that. The exception would be a left turn if it's allowed on this street, of course. So to cross and you want to turn left, that's the only time you can cross that line. You can't do it for passing and other things. This one over here is to help explain that sometimes it's a solid line and a dashed line. That means the people that have a solid line on their side, they can't pass. The people with the dashed line, they can pass if they can see, of course. So that's what you need to know. Dashed means you can cross the line. Solid means you can't cross the line unless you're turning. This is what the book calls it, two-way left turn lanes, okay? A lot of people just call them turning lanes to keep it short and easy. These can be a little bit difficult when you first start using them, but the simple rules is it is for turning left. Both sides get to use it, so oncoming traffic will get in these lanes, so you need to get into the turning lane as close to your turn as you can. And even sometimes then, you know, cars will get near you. Don't panic, just stay relaxed. Just wait your turn until you can do what you need to do. These are in a lot of places, especially around this area. So make sure you pay attention to them. You get in the middle. You don't fly into these. You don't drive down these. They're not an extra lane. They're only for turning left. So make sure you pay attention, you understand it. These are several different ways. I mean, this one here has bike lanes on the side. You know, several of you guys have already been driving with me. We've gone to Wichita and have their bike lanes and stuff, so you can understand that as well. But they are usually marked with yellow and white markers. Not always. Sometimes they are white for some reason, but you're supposed to be yellow, and then your turning lanes usually are white. The arrows are usually white. These are just discussing other lines and stuff, so make sure you go back and read this. I talked about several of them, by the way. But make sure you pay attention. Your railroad crossings and all those are marked on the ground oftentimes. We're going to watch this video. It's a good video. It is not very long, but pay attention. I suggest you watch this at home. It's fast, simple, but it explains the lines. Some of you will struggle a little bit with lines here and there, so please make sure you're paying attention and watch this video, and it'll go through the lines pretty relatively fast. So you can watch these at home as well. Like I said, the PowerPoint is on Google Classroom. All the video links are on Google Classroom as well, and we strongly suggest you drive with your parents as much as you can during this class, let alone you get your 50 hours and all that. But practice driving and studying this stuff will make you a better driver. So we're going to watch this video.
All right, awesome. We're going to do the handbook test now. So the handbook test and one of these. We're only doing one of these today, so it's good. Makes it easier on you. But just so you know, normally we do take 2 or 3 of these a day. So make sure you learn how to do this time. We'll go over it very quick every time. We're going to do the green sign. You're going to fill this out where your name goes. This is it right up here. First name, last name, the test that we're actually doing, which the one we're doing is handbook test. We're doing test A. Make sure you write the date, the period, all that kind of stuff. Every class is different. We don't usually change all that stuff up there, but pay attention. That's how you fill out the top form, okay? That's an example of it. You're on the green side. You'll have this. Don't write on it. Make sure you fill in the bubbles completely, right? We took the practice test yesterday, so you guys should know how to do it. But if you don't fill it all the way in, the machine may count it wrong. So make sure you get it nice and dark with the pencil. Just so you know, if you're done taking the test, you can get one of the chapters. Sorry, get one chapter. You should already have your chapters, right? 3, 4, and 5, right? Make sure you have all those and you're working on them. While you're here, you have to stay till the end of class. You cannot leave early. So work on those. I'll save you a little time tonight. Make sure you're reading, looking up the answers. But I don't want to see any books out because your desk has to be cleared, cleaned off, because this is not open book. So the only time you should have a book out is if you're done with your test, okay? And you passed it. So you go over there. The ladies will help you check your test. So make sure you get it done. Oh, and thank you for letting me do the videos. I appreciate it, guys.